Eli, was there someone that you were surprised that you didn't like more? Was there someone that really just kind of maybe underwhelmed you throughout the evaluation process?
Yeah, let's have a conversation about Malachi Starks because I know Adam and I have slightly different viewpoints on his value and his ceiling. And before we started recording, we wanted to save it just to see where we both stand. So when I watch Starks, really solid player, instinctual, good tackler, good coverage. And I watch him and I keep wondering, okay, what is his trait that separates him from other first round safeties that have been drafted in the last 5 to 7 years? And there was nothing specifically that stood out. And I went, wow, this guy could be a dynamic field tilter like Kyle Hamilton on the football field. We had posited the question: if you had Adrian Amos on the Packers with a little more juice, with 5% more juice, what round pick would you spend on a player like that? To me, a high second round pick is a great place for a player like that. Harrison Smith on the Vikings was kind of end of the first round safety. You're talking about a player like that who has been in the league for 12 plus years, and the Vikings do not regret that pick in the slightest. And again, a smart, instinctual safety on the back end. Adam, I'd love to hear your thoughts about him and what stood out to you about Xavier or about Malachi.
Yeah, so I won't come on here and say that he's the next Ed Reed or anything. I do think there are some physical limitations to his ceiling. That said, I think his coordination and just mental game is going to keep him in the league for a long time. And I think, when I look at the first round, I'm thinking, are we drafting someone who can stay as a starter for, let's just say through a second contract? I see Malachi Starks as that guy. There are plenty of guys who are going to sign second contracts with teams, but in terms of being great players and knowing at draft time that they're going to end up signing that second contract, I think Malachi Starks is a safe enough pick because of his mental game that you can project he will sign a second contract with your team, and that he's not going to be honestly a huge, insane reset the market topic type of guy because he doesn't have those crazy tools. So you might even be able to get him for, let's say 4 years from now, you re-sign him for an $18 million a year deal. That's not going to be the worst contract 4 years from now. And he's going to be a good player that you have on your team for almost a decade. So I think that's worth a first round pick. One thing that stood out to me is just I saw almost no mistakes besides missed tackles against incredible athletes. And the two that come to mind are Dylan Sampson and Jalen Milrow. When he met those guys on the open field, they broke him off.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to happen.